And here we are with an introduction to the new Windows 10 technical preview. You can see right away that it looks different, especially having a quick glance back here to the old Windows 8 with the annoying pop-ups on the side and bottom and taking over the screen. The start menu here, you can see, kind of opens normal, except they had to include the blocks as well as what they had in Windows 8. But at least now it's something that shows less overwhelming, and you can scroll through everything and rearrange things. The most common options are up here, but you can go down to all apps and it gives you a list in alphabetical order of all the applications that you have installed, both apps and programs. Any programs that you have installed will show up in a yellow folder, and if you click on it, it will open that folder and show the program that's within that directory. Power options are up in the top right corner where you can sleep it, restart it, and shut down. But a big change now is the expand option to the right of that, which has the 4 arrows. And if you click it, it expands the start menu to take over the whole screen, except for covering up the start menu. And you still have the application list that you can scroll through, but the taskbar at the bottom is still accessible, so it's not that overwhelming. Also, you can click the start button to open and close the start menu as normal, but it just shows full screen instead of a small portion of the screen. If you want to put it back the way it was, click the restore button and it puts it right back to normal size again. So moving on with the rest of the taskbar, there's the ability to search the web and your local computer right from the taskbar. And the only thing I'm not liking so much is that it forces you to use Bing if you're using the search web function, and there's currently no option to change to your own favorite search provider. This doesn't mean that this ability won't be available once it's released, but as of this technical preview, this is how it's working, which is still all not that bad. The rest of the taskbar over to the right is showing pretty similar, and the notifications looks familiar, merged a little bit I think between Windows 7 and Windows 8, but with one new option being the tablet mode. So rather than like Windows 8, they force you to use your desktop or laptop like a tablet. Just because Windows 8 is the same for anyone on any device, they now let you choose this so you can turn on tablet mode if you want. And you can turn it off again just as easily. The rest of the icons like calendar and time and all this is the same. There's no difference there, as you can see. One new addition to the taskbar is the task view, where you can go in here and add a new desktop, which is similar to like what the Mac had with multiple desktops. So you could have several different things running here on the one desktop, and if you don't want to mess that desktop up too much, you can go down here and add a new desktop and open up your other applications on here. Going down to the task view, you can hover over each one and toggle back and forth between the different task views or desktops, as I would like to call it. And you can add more programs, you can add more desktops if you like, whatever you want to do there. But one thing you can see here, which I can see questions coming up from this, is if you close all the programs in each one, they still have the 2 desktops showing. So you have to go in here and click the red X or red box with the white X, and that closes it down. So when you go down here, you have the option to add a desktop if you want a second one again. So one thing a lot of people are going to want to find quickly is where to get the settings, and that's right up at the top here under places in the start menu. And then when you go in there, you're going to see that pretty much everything is the same as it was. The wording for things isn't going to be much different, although If you just take time to look around in here and navigate, it won't be too overwhelming. So just take the time, look at it, click around. You can't really hurt too much, so just really have a look at what else is here. And that's what this video is all about, is to kind of give you an idea. Clicking around, you can see it's pretty easy to navigate. There's the update and recovery option in the settings here, where you can check for Windows updates manually, running a backup if you want to use the built-in Windows backup. And then there's the recovery options, where in case things really go horrible and you need to restore the computer back to the way things were, there's various levels of doing that, and all these options are in here. Just be careful you don't lose your data. Now, the apps used to look like this, where you'd have an app take over the screen and there's no close button, and you had to pop the mouse to the top left corner and right click on it and hit close. Now you can see when you open up an app in Windows 10, this is how it opens. It's like a program within the desktop. You can maximize it and restore it the same as any other program, and you can see that the start menu is still accessible in the taskbar, so that's pretty good. There is the minimize to minimize it, same as any other program, and this other little button with the two arrows is the expand, so that takes over the entire screen, so you're going full screen. If you want to bring it back, just tap the mouse all the way up to the top of the screen and you'll see this pop down, so you can minimize and restore or close. So if you hit the restore, it brings it back the way it was. The other option with the apps in here is to expand it. Again, just like any other program, grab a side or corner. As you drag it, you can see the content change inside. So you can resize it to however you like, and if you want to close it, just close. The tests that I've done on this Windows 10 was using this machine. It's not much of a fast computer at all, besides the fact that it's a solid state hard drive, and you can see that it took a total of 30 seconds for me to turn it on from completely off to right at my desktop, and the shutdown was only 9 seconds. So one of the other hidden areas in the Windows 10 is if you right click on the start button, then you have access to things like programs and features, where you can uninstall a program or make changes to it. And also right clicking on the start menu accesses all kinds of other options like the task manager and the control panel. And the control panel is just like the older versions of Windows, where you'll find all the other options that are in a more familiar format.